What's going on, guys, and welcome to Success Through Failure. I'm here with Nate.
How's it going, guys?
And I'm PJ, and we are continuing our conversation on how to jumpstart a business, whether it's a brick and mortar business or an online business. We're going over just kind of the different processes. We've went over the idea, we've went over execution. So make sure you click on those videos and check those out. But today we are talking about sales. Right? You can have a great idea, you can know how to execute it, but if you're not getting sales, if you're not generating sales, you're not making any money. I mean, just plain and simple. So, again, Nate's seen a lot of success through all kinds of different businesses. Yeah. What's your key to sales?
I think obviously you got to have a lot of energy.
Okay.
You got to be passionate about what you're doing. Like if you're trying to sell somebody your service, and you're not excited about it, how do you expect them to be excited about it?
Right.
Yeah, you don't want to be jumping all around like, hey, it's up, but you want to sound like you're excited to do this for them. Or if it's a service or if it's a product, you need to be excited about the product, what it is going to do for them.
Right.
So that's why I said in the earlier video, if you're not passionate about the business that you're doing, you're not going to be able to pull it off.
Okay.
You can't be like, I'm going to do this because I'm going to make a lot of money. That's great.
Yeah.
But you got to like it too. If you don't like it or have a strong interest in it, you're not going to do well at it.
Right.
So you have to be energetic or passionate.
Okay.
A little bit about, like also we said in the last video, is you got to be organized and have a process.
Okay.
And I think you got to be, at the same time as you're energetic, you need to be stable to where you look like trustworthy.
Right.
Like, I feel good about this guy. Like, he's not going to be gone tomorrow. Like, he's going to be there for me.
Right.
I think that's a big thing. Depending on what the business is.
Right.
If it's a service business where you're providing a service, like if you're a carpet cleaner or if you're whatever, where you're providing some type of service, I think for service businesses, it's important to make them feel secure.
Okay.
Like, hey, the difference between me and the other guy is that I'm always going to pick up my phone,
right,
and I'm going to be there for you.
Right.
I'm going to give you the support. Because right now, I can tell you in other businesses across the nation here, that's why everything's going away from.
Okay.
I feel like that's the big thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that everything's just like, we're the cheapest, we're the cheapest, we're the cheapest. But when you call them or you need something, there's nobody to be found.
Right.
So I think the big thing is you want to get a little personal connection and be like, the difference with me is that I care about you.
Right.
And I'm going to be there for you.
Right.
In a reasonable manner. I doesn't mean you need to call them back at 2 a.m. or on Sunday or whatever. But you understand what I'm saying.
Right.
And obviously mean it. And do it.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to tell you to hustle. I mean, really do it.
Right.
And if you like your business, you should want to do it. Because it's a great feeling to see people so happy with your service.
Right.
Now, it's a service. Now, if it's just a product, and let's say, you're trying to get a fidget spinner out the door, and this, it's obviously a little different.
Right.
Your object here is to give the information, make a good presentation,
okay,
and why they need it, and to make them feel confident in buying from you.
Right. So like so this would apply to like an online business, right?
Right.
So if you don't have the face-to-face connection.
Right. So online business, I think, is even different. Like, so that was more like retail, brick and mortar. Online business, I think the number one thing is presentation.
Okay.
Have a good website. Have a clean website. Don't have it so busy. Like we talked about in a previous video, when you open up your own business, don't do a million different things.
Right.
When you have your website, don't have like a million things on your website. Make it look clean.
Right. Make
it look simple and easy to get.
Right.
If there's so much stuff for them to read, they're just going to go.
Right.
You need to make it, the favorite method of mine is they call it the KISS method, which is keep it simple, stupid. And I think that works.
Yeah.
I don't know I'm not Mr. like super technical guy. I don't know how long they say the average person looks at a web page. I know it's not very long.
Yeah.
So I think for online stores, presentation will give you that feeling of if this business is stable,
right?
If they're big, if I can trust them,
right? And that's where, so the customer is all about trust, right? I mean,
right. Am I going to get this?
Mm-hmm. Right.
Will they back it if something's wrong with it?
Right.
Does it look like they've been around for a while?
Right.
You know, and you may not be around for a while, but you want your website to appear like it's been around for a while. Like if you're having like a little area where it shows your social media feed, like your Instagram, like your last Instagram picture or whatever like that, you better have a bunch of Instagram pictures.
Right.
You better make it look decent. You know what I mean? And not one with you chugging a keg of beer. Also, like is your personal Instagram
unless you're selling
page.
Beer and you're
right.
Yeah.
You know, like it's got to be like it's got to be clean.
Right.
And
it's got to project the image that you're trying to portray for.
Right.
That would be appropriate for your business.
If you're like, oh, that costs too much money, or I want to skimp on my, if you have an internet-based business, that's where you better spend all your money.
Right.
On your website, like that. If you're gonna skimp on that, it shows the customer you're gonna skimp on everything else.
Right. So if you got a clean website, and you know people, it looks trustworthy, it looks authentic, whatever else.
That's your whole business.
Then what about reaching out? So like we're talking about like Facebook ads or Google ads, blah blah blah. What about that? Trying to drive traffic to your website.
Now I have a different stance in this. I don't know if it's a different stance, but I feel like I'm gonna keep it real here and say, if it were me, I am not a Facebook or Instagram web strategist, meaning like I am not amazing at it. Do I know a little bit about it? Sure. But that's like saying I know a little bit about the car dealership business. Have I ever worked in it? No. I bet you I don't know jack.
Yeah.
That's keeping it real.
Right.
Now, this is a very tricky situation. I honestly feel that this could be the most important thing you could do in your internet-based business. And it's also the hardest. Is finding the right person to head this.
Yeah.
And if you're all about, PPC, pay-per-click, or other types of, web marketing, SEO type marketing, everything, I think it all works. I think it definitely does work.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you, if you go and try to spend the time on it to learn it yourself, one, you probably won't be nearly as good at it as you think you are.
Right.
And two, the hours you spend, you could have spent on growing your business.
Right.
You could have just paid somebody.
Right.
Now, the trickiest thing I've seen is everybody says they're awesome.
Right.
And it's very hard to know before you get in bed with them, or until you bring them into the fold, if they're really good or not.
Right.
So that's the scariest thing. And do I have an instant awesome answer for you? The answer is no.
Right.
But I can tell you what I would do.
Okay.
And I would simply, maybe because I'm maybe in a different situation, I know a lot of entrepreneurs. So I would go to them. Okay. And be like, who do you use?
Right.
And then I can get off that.
Yeah.
I'm even so sketchy to where, I'll be honest with you, a lot of like online reviews, I don't know if you can really trust those.
Right. Yeah.
They could make those themselves.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of, like, I love websites that put like reviews from their customer on them. Like, you think they're going to put bad ones?
Right.
Like,
yeah.
Oh, they were so great. Everything was also on time.
Right.
Do you think they're ever going to put bad ones on their website?
Yeah. And just like, and the same thing, like I've seen this with Yelp, I've seen this with Amazon, where they'll filter out your good reviews too.
Right.
Where you're just, so.
Yelp is different because that's not a person, but I'm just saying, like, like if you go like on these little forums and they're talking about like how great this person is, that could be 10 different emails from that company.
Right.
And 10 different workers saying how great it is.
Yeah.
So for me, real people, talking to real people like in person that I know or my friends know or like whatever like that. So I, again, will go to like, I'm going to say go to Facebook. There's a lot of groups for almost everything that you're doing. Like whether, hey, marketing groups and everything else. Who did you use?
Yeah.
But I can just tell you got to be very careful.
Yeah.
This is going to be a huge decision.
Yeah.
And you can't do too much research. Right. Could you still make a mistake? Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I can tell you, this is going to make or break you. The doing the website thing, getting the right product, to me is the easy thing. But if you're going to really focus, I'm going to make my money on this online business because of online marketing,
Right.
like Facebook, Instagram, whatever conversions,
Mm-hmm.
man, this is everything.
Right. And
You better be right.
right. And diversify too. Like that's the
Right.
thing I've seen most with this is a lot of times people try to come up with the perfect ad and they put all their money in the one ad.
Right.
Testing is everything. You're not going to know what's going to hit and what's not going to hit.
And the problem with advertising is it doesn't happen in one ad, like in one day.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like there's a reason when you watch a TV show, you may see the same commercial 5 or 6 times.
Right.
They do that on purpose.
Mm-hmm.
They've already done the studies that in order for it to get branded into your head,
Right.
like, hey, eat Captain Crunch cereal, you're going to see that Captain Crunch commercial 10 times or 15 times. And you're like, geez, they keep playing the same commercial. Well, there's a reason.
Right.
And then the next day, you find yourself walking out at the mall or wherever going, I want some Captain Crunch cereal.
Right. Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, or you have like the little jingle that they had in the commercial in your head, and you realize they got me.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So that to me, for online businesses, is I would hire.
Okay.
It's something, if you can't do it really good, I mean, if you're not a master, you better outsource it.
Right.
Because this is your whole business.
Right.
And if you don't think somebody else is doing it really good,
right,
and hiring somebody,
yeah,
again, another great. I've used this in other videos, but a great piece of advice that I've always read in a book was assume that your competition is working twice as hard as you.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It will motivate you to work harder.
Right.
And I can tell you that if you don't think that your competition is hiring and they're in the same thing,
right,
if you don't think your competition is going really hard on their online marketing,
yeah,
well, you're probably wrong.
Yeah.
And do you really think you're going to beat this team that they've hired? So
Right.
if the answer is you don't think so, you have a choice.
Yeah.
Either go get somebody,
right,
or lose.
Yeah.
And the thing is, like you said, you better have a budget. You better have, and it
Yeah.
may not be a miracle thing. You're not looking for a miracle overnight. You're looking for more of like people you can, same thing. People
Right.
you can count on. People that are going to
Right.
communicate well and go from there.
Yeah. And there are some affordable options. You could go on Fiverr.com.
It's a little more your field than mine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, and we'll throw that link in the description. But like Fiverr.com, you can go on Facebook ads, and there'll be a whole bunch list of people, and you can go through and kind of check to see kind of what their work, and you can
Right.
see their reviews, and go with what looks good to you. If you're like, man, I would buy that product.
Right.
Maybe that's a good indication that person may be,
Right.
And it's they have so many affordable options. You could go with 2, 3, 4 of them,
Right.
and try again. Testing is everything.
Right.
When you're doing
Don't run them
online
at
ads.
don't run them at the same time.
Right.
Because then you won't know which one's actually returning.
Yeah. Good point. Yeah. So, yeah. Anyway, that's our little video on sales.
Yep.
Again, we're going to continue the conversation on just the different processes of creating a business and building it up. So be sure and subscribe, and we'll see you next video.
I gotta see it.